Hi guys, I just thought I'd make this video to vent. I feel very upset at the moment and I just need to let it out and talk to someone who understands, and I know you guys understand. Just now I brought my son to the soccer field where he had a game to go play, and we got there about a half hour early, and as I pulled up, there were there were maybe like two or three kids playing at one end of the field. They, because we were early, and this guy that you see in the photo had this mutant of his off leash running around on the field. And as I parked my car, he arrived at like, you can see these like cement, I don't even know what they're called, like the block that he's sitting on there. So he was approaching my car as I parked it, and I rolled the window down, and my son looked at me, and I was like, I'm going to say something to this guy. Normally, if I'm walking or whatever, I try not to get into confrontations with pit bull owners because I know it always goes badly. And I get so angry that I feel that I could do something that might get me in trouble. Or they could sick their dog on me and I could end up in the hospital or worse, right? So I try not to get into confrontations with them. I'm trying to raise awareness through my YouTube channel. But I said to myself in that moment, if I don't say something to him, he's going to go on thinking that what he's doing is okay. And it is not okay, because after I complained last year about people bringing their dogs to shit on this soccer field where lots of kids play soccer, I complained to the city. They decided to put up a new sign, because they did have a sign that said dogs are not allowed on the field, but they decided to put up a bigger sign, which I was very pleased with. It's a very large sign that says very clearly that dogs are not allowed on the field. Because would you allow a dog to go piss and shit on a skating rink where people play hockey? I live in Canada. A lot of people play hockey at arenas and stuff. We don't let dogs go shit on the ice. This is a place where kids play sports. And I said to the guy, I rolled down my window. I thought to myself, all right, I'm in my car. I told my son, don't get out of the car. And I'm going to talk to this guy. The dog, is not going to be able to get to me. And I said to this guy, I said, dogs are not allowed on the field because their shit can transmit disease. Or I said, it does transmit disease. And I said, there's a sign over there. Did you miss the sign? Did you not see the sign? And the guy completely ignored me and sat down on this block, like you see him in the picture, sitting down, turned his head away and completely ignored me as I proceeded to talk to him. And I should have made a video, but I was just, I had so much adrenaline going through my body that I couldn't think to make a video. Anyway, it would have been pointless because the guy didn't say anything. It was just like this picture. But the things I was saying to him were like, I asked him, do you think you're above the law? Like, what is it? What is it in your brain that makes you think that you can disregard that sign and allow your dog to run around off leash on the soccer field where kids are going to play soccer? And I said to him, that I would like to let my son out of the vehicle to kick his ball around. That's why we got here early. But I'd rather not do that because you're sitting here with a dog that was bred to be an efficient killer. So what are you doing here? I said, are you going to be here much longer? And that's when he did nod yes. He nodded his head. And I said, why? Do you have a fucking kid playing soccer here? Like, because he appeared to be all alone. Like, what are you doing here? I really think that people bring their dogs to this field because it's an open space and they think, oh, this is a great place for my dog to get exercise, to run around off leash. And, so I'm going to let my dog run around here. Completely disregarding the fact that this is a field where kids play soccer. It's a sports field made for kids. It's not a dog park. It wasn't designed for dogs. It is a place for kids to play soccer. And when your dog shits on the grass, even if you do pick it up in a plastic bag, which is terrible for the environment, all these millions of dogs eating meat and shitting into plastic bags, it's an environmental nightmare. And even if you do pick it up, there are always traces left behind that will get on the soccer balls that the kids touch with their hands. These kids are always wiping sweat off their faces. They might pick their noses. They might put their fingers in their mouth, chewing on their nails or whatever. These bacteria and these parasitic eggs that a sizable percentage of dogs are depositing into the environment. Watch my video about how virtually all dogs are infested with worms to some degree. Dogs are shedding parasitic eggs, which last in the environment for months, even years. If you get it, and you can't see them, they're microscopic. So you get a trace of them, of shit on your fingers, you don't even know about it. You won't even see the eggs, all right? They get into your body, you become infected, you get a parasitic infection, which, and by the way, most dogs that shed these worm eggs appear to be healthy, right? Your dog's not going to look sick. It's not going to act sick. You think it's a perfectly healthy dog. Anyway, watch that video. You're putting the entire society at risk. You're putting children mainly at risk. I am aware that parasitic infections can render people blind. I do not want my child to go blind, all right? Asshole. So I said a few more things to him, something like, you wonder why people have an issue with pit bull owners. I kept it to pit bulls, but really, it's all dog owners, because they're all extremely selfish. Like I said, they come to this field and think it's for them, for their dogs to run around in. They don't think about the kids. They don't think about how their behavior impacts other people. I said, you're the reason pit bull owners have a bad name, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And then I was just so fucking mad, man. My blood was boiling. And then gradually, as I sat there in my car just verbally abusing this guy, because he fucking deserved it, he proceeded to ignore me completely. And then more people started arriving at the field. And my son was like, Mom, just let me get out because, so-and-so's here and this coach is there. And his coach had just arrived. I saw his coach pull up and I thought, what do I do, right? Let my kid get out? No one else. And this is the thing that drives me crazy. Because the other day I was at another park in the center of town. And there were a lot of people playing. Kids, busy afternoon, hot sunny day. It's like a splash park. And there's like this big like play equipment thing for kids to play on. The place was crawling with kids. It was full of kids. It's a kids' playground. And right beside there's an open grassy area. And I should add that there are signs, thanks to me, for complaining to the city, because there was one entrance to the park that had no sign. They put up a new sign last year that clearly says that dogs must be leashed and that you must pick up after your dogs at this park. People, of course, continue to ignore the sign. So I'm at this busy park, and what do you see? What did we see was a person with a pit bull playing fetch with it right there on the grass, like right beside this large group of children. I just watched this with astonishment. Like, how is it that no one... I looked around, right? Does anyone else see a problem here? Nobody appeared to see a problem. No one seemed fazed by it, just probably thinking, and this is me mind reading, right? But I'm assuming people just look at that and think, oh, look at that nice dog. They're having fun. Don't see a problem, right? I look at this, and because of the awareness I have of how unpredictable these dogs are, because I have taken hours and like I don't even know how many hours out of my life I have spent researching, reading reports. I have a lot more awareness than most people about how these dogs can be the sweetest dogs for many years, be raised by responsible owners in loving homes, and then be the best dogs for years, and then suddenly be triggered by a sudden movement or a sudden noise, and then just, charge after a child and attack them because of their inborn predatory aggression, their high prey drive, which they were bred to have. And so like I said to the guy, I'd like to let my son out of the vehicle, but I don't feel safe doing that because of your dog that was bred to be an efficient killer. Like, why could you have not chosen a different breed? Why did you have to choose a breed that instills fear in your neighbors, that terrorizes people, informed citizens in your community? Because a lot of people are not afraid of these dogs. It's because they're not informed. It's because they believe all of the propaganda that is put out by organizations that profit off the dog industry. It's a huge money-making racket, and people are just eating up the propaganda that these are good dogs, safe dogs. They're not. I'm going to put some information in the description box about these dogs. They were bred to kill. They are unpredictable. They were bred to attack without warning signs. They were bred for sudden and explosive aggression. They were bred to bite differently from other breeds. Other breeds bite and let go. These types of dogs with these blocky heads, and I don't care what they're called, pit bulls, American, this or that, Staffordshire, shove it up your ass, it's got a blocky head. And all dogs with these blocky heads were bred for the purposes of baiting bears and bulls, and then for ratting, which is fighting. Anyway, I'll put the information in the description box, but these people who eat up this propaganda are in extreme denial. They are denying genetics. They are denying instincts, which cannot be loved or trained out of dogs. And it drives me insane, because when I try to inform people of this, some people go like, oh, that's interesting, I didn't know that. But most people think I'm nuts. So when my kid's soccer coach got out of his vehicle after he parked it, guess what he did? He walked over to this asshole and started talking in a friendly manner to him. Evidently, they know each other. And I said to my son, all right, get out. Go have a good game, and your dad will pick you up, because I got to get out of here. And I left, and I came home. But what drives me nuts is this thought that this asshole is probably talking to my son's soccer coach, going like, there's this crazy fucking lady yelling at me, blah, blah, blah. And that the majority of people in my town think I'm nuts for being concerned for the safety of these children who just want to go play soccer. They just want to go play soccer. They don't want to have to deal with, well, they're oblivious to it. There should not be this threat. There should not be anyone letting their dog off leash to shit on the grass or to piss on the grass, because dogs can also transmit leptospirosis through their urine. That's another video I gotta make. But, the bacteria, and I didn't even talk about the bacteria in dog shit. E. coli, salmonella, others that can make people, especially children, young children with weaker immune systems, they can become so sick that they die. They can get sepsis, like systemic blood infections, meningitis that can, I covered this in my video about Pasteurella bacteria. Meningitis is not just something that you get and then you're over it, and it can have like lifelong complications. My concerns are legitimate. And what makes me crazy is that no one else seems to see a problem. My husband says they probably do, but they're just afraid to say anything. That day that I saw that person at the park letting their pit bull run around, I have to admit, I was afraid to say something. And I kick myself for this and I beat myself up about it. But the truth is that saying something to that owner would have put me in danger. Because, I Hate Dogs on YouTube made a video about how dog lovers or dog owners are dangerous. They are. They are lacking in empathy, in concern for people's safety. For example, when there is a report of a child that got mauled by a dog, the majority of people, it seems, defend the dog. It doesn't matter what the circumstances were. They will always blame the child. And they'll insist that somehow the child provoked the dog, even if the kid was just walking or riding their bike and the dog chased after them. Still, they're going to blame the child, or they're going to blame the dog's owner. They're going to say it's all in how you raise them, even though they have no idea at all how the dog was raised. They're going to say the dog must have been trained to attack, must have been mistreated somehow. They have no evidence for that at all, but they're going to insist that that's the case. They are in extreme denial. Their thought distortions are acrobatic. This mental illness they suffer from is fascinating and severe, and they don't see it. Thankfully, people, I know at least 427, I think that's my number of subscribers, they see it. The 2,000 whatever on I Hate Dogs' channel can see it. But how many more see it but are just too afraid to say anything? Like I was saying, I was afraid to approach that pit bull owner because I wasn't in my vehicle at that time at the other park I'm talking about, right? This dog was running loose. And I had adrenaline in me, and like they say, dogs can smell that, right? They smell that, and that can trigger an attack. I don't want to get attacked by a dog. I have 3 kids to raise. I can't afford to be crippled or disfigured. I don't want to lose my face. I don't want to have my jugular ripped out. I'm not stupid, so I didn't say anything because I know these people are demented. They don't care. They don't care about my kids. They don't care about any kids. All they care about are their precious dogs that are terrorizing our neighborhoods. It's not just my town. This is fucking all over. I don't understand how has it come to this? That as a society, we are so sick. I can only hope that my videos are going to spark some kind of change and to spearhead a movement that I really hope will grow, because our children deserve better. Honestly, I think they're just waiting for a child to be mauled or killed at the soccer field in my town. I've written letters to City Hall expressing my grave concerns for our children's safety, calling for BSL. Of course, my emails go unanswered, and I've contacted local government. Of course, my emails are ignored. And it hurts. It's really, really depressing. And it's really, really difficult to stay sane in this world that has gone doggone mad. It is so crazy. And this asshole never once turned his head. Sick, antisocial behavior. And I'm just seeing more and more of it. And I know you guys are seeing more and more of it. What can we do? What can we do? I just look forward to your comments and to knowing that I'm not alone. And that's the hardest thing that I was getting at. The hardest thing is that, people think we're nuts when we're not nuts. We are the sane ones. And it's just so difficult to be a minority. I just wish more people would speak up, because I get angry when I think, why am I the only one who seems to be speaking out? In my town anyways. I know other people are speaking out, and on the internet, of course. But if it weren't for me, those signs would not have been put up. I don't think. I don't know. I don't think anyone else complained. I'm not aware of anyone else who complained. I don't know. I'm just so sick of this, guys. It's so disheartening and awful. It's terrifying. It's terrifying that as a society, we now care more for dogs than we do our human children. I shouldn't even have to put that word human in front of children. It goes without saying. Children are human. Dogs are not children. And these people, that's what my husband said too. When we were watching this lady playing fetch with her pit bull. Killing machine, right? These people think that their dogs are their children. And they think that their dogs have just as much right to be at a playground as a child. They don't. They're not children. They're unpredictable, instinct-driven predators. Fanged predators. With prey aggression, predatory aggression, high prey drives. They have no business in our communities at all. At all, at all. Anyhow, I'm signing out. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll talk to you later.